the Mr. Dixon's Arrested Developments. I don't know what episode number this is, but I'll put it on later. Anyway, so I got like a couple of stories here today. This post-Thanksgiving arrestedness. Who's been arrested? We got a youth pastor arrested, of course. And we got another youth pastor. He's been sentenced, okay. And then we got a Colorado pastor. And he just did something, but I will mention when we get to it. It's an imam, finally, something other than a pastor, an imam, and then go right back to pastor. So it's all good stuff. This one will begin, thankfully, no sexual molestation. I mean, there is going to be some, because it's the religious people. But this first story, no fucking of kids. Murder, but no fucking of kids. All right, so this is the first story. Oh, sorry, let me have my customary shot. Let me have a shot before I begin reading these. My customary shot. I usually have gin and tonic, but I'm out of tonic water, and I didn't feel like running out and getting some. So I just had a little bit of gin anyway, so I'll just finish it off here. Okay, this is from WTKR in North Carolina. Can you say that? Can you say North Carolina? I'm kidding. But this is actually not taking place in Carolina. It's actually taking place in Chester, Virginia, but I got it off of WTKR's website. Anyway, Chester, Virginia. Police have arrested a youth pastor for allegedly murdering his family at a home in Chester on Thanksgiving night. That's one hell of a bad Thanksgiving. I guess I didn't like how they voted in the election. I don't know. Or you see all these warnings like what to do with your family if you disagree politically. They don't say what happens if you want to murder your family. Don't murder your family. They don't say that. They try and get around the politics thing. Officers discovered 2 women and a man shot to death at a home on Dogwood Ridge Court in the Ashley Fort subdivision around 11:30 p.m. Officials said the women's bodies were found inside the home heating area. No, inside the home, and that the man's body was found in the front yard. The victims were identified as 58-year-old Janet L. Gaddis, 30-year-old Candace L. Coons, and 36-year-old Andrew E. Butthorn. I'm not making fun of the names. That's how I don't know how to pronounce them better. The victims and suspect all lived at the residence in the 1400 block of Dogwood Ridge Court. I got somebody's looking for property. I got a place you can move into. And this incident appears to be domestic related. Sergeant P.H. Zufuto with Ridgefield Police said in the news release. Janet Gaddis is the wife of Christopher Gaddis. Butthorn is the boyfriend of Combs, who's the daughter of Janet Gaddis. So it's like bad all around. So the boyfriend's going with his girlfriend at Thanksgiving and gets murdered. Girlfriend gets murdered, her family gets murdered. Just a bad time of murder. Police said 58-year-old Christopher Gaddis was arrested at the scene without incident. Well, there was one incident just before that. Gaddis, who was being held without bond at the Chesterfield County Jail, was charged with 3 counts of first-degree murder and 3 counts of the use of a firearm in the commission of a felony because he believes in Second Amendment rights. Damn it! I got my Second Amendment rights. I shoot my family. If only someone. Well, the problem is someone else in the family had a gun. They should all been armed at Thanksgiving. That's the way you really want to live. Neighbor heard shot. Neighbors said everyone on the block is close-knit and that many of them knew the victims and the suspect. One neighbor said that when heard a gunshot, this is what it says here. One neighbor said that when he, or she, I should say here, heard a gunshot last night, police were already on the scene by the time that he came outside. He said he then saw a man's body and the suspect in handcuffs. Neighbor Mike Brown was stunned by the tragedy and said the suspect was a friend and a gentle man. Well, apparently not that gentle. He knew how to squeeze that trigger. Allegedly. We were all friends. Allegedly. Is this any doubt? Someone else shot. That's 4 family members. He's the only one who's alive. They're taking out the handcuffs. Yeah, someone else did it. We were all friends. We hung out sometimes and cook out in the back. Neighbor Mike Brown said, I mean, every time I see them, they're always the same way. I had no clue that they were having problems that I knew of, but behind closed doors is behind closed doors. Yes, behind closed doors is behind closed doors. Clergy, suspect is excellent man. Everybody loves the guy who just murdered 4 people, or the 5. I lost count. Additionally, sources and neighbors to the suspect was a youth pastor at the local church. So we get to the, we'll just start there. I'm the youth pastor at the church. Glad I didn't shoot anybody at the church. A deacon at Grace Lutheran Church on Hargate Road in Chester confirmed Gaddis was a full-time youth pastor there. He said he was in disbelief about the allegations and called the suspect an excellent man. Barely disbelief. I can't believe, I have evidence that he shot people, but I can't believe it. The God thing, I got no problem there. Yeah, there's a man, this magic man in the space I can't see. But him shooting for people, that I'm very hard to believe. Very hard. I'm just very skeptical of that. Very skeptical. Another church member said Gaddis was frequently at church, including on Thursday for the congregation's Thanksgiving feast. Well, apparently wasn't there too long. The church released a statement Friday afternoon. Members of Grace Lutheran Church are deeply saddened by the loss of life last night as a result of 3 individuals being shot in Chester. I'm sorry, it's 3 people. Where did I get the next one? Hey, 3 individuals being shot in Chester. It was hard to say those names. 3 people being shot in Chester, and this tragedy included members of Grace Lutheran Church. Grace Lutheran Church has experienced many handicaps over the years. This heartbreak has unique challenges. Grace Lutheran Church asks for the prayers from the community as our congregation begins the process of addressing the grief being experienced by everyone involved. Please that their investigation into the incident is ongoing. Well, I can tell you one thing, cops. The prayers are going to do fuck all. All right, moving on. Next story is from WXIX-TV in Cincinnati. Doo-doo. Baby, if you've ever wondered whatever became of me. I'm live on the air in Cincinnati, WXIX. Okay. Former youth pastor pleads guilty to child sexual abuse charges because, of course, he does. They all do, ladies. And at some point, a youth pastor has to say, like, I did it, I was the kid. A former youth pastor and school volunteer will spend at least 17 years behind bars after admitting guilt on charges of sexual abuse and sodomy of a minor. Wasn't sexual abuse enough? Why did they have to put in the sodomy? Sodomy should go into the sexual abuse. I don't need to know the details of the abuse. Just say sexual abuse. There's no need. I know what sodomy is. I don't need pictures drawing you. But just say sexual abuse, and then I won't know anything. I'll just like, all right, sexually abused. I don't need details. Joseph Niemeyer, 56, worked with the youth at the Bank Lick Baptist Church. Bank Lick and other things. Bank Lick Baptist Church in Walton until he was arrested on February 2016. He also volunteered at Tonafield Middle School. On Monday, Niemeyer pleaded guilty to 4 counts of first-degree sexual abuse and 1 count of first-degree sodomy, all against a girl younger than 12. What is these degrees? First degree, I have 2nd degree, 8th degree, 5th degree sodomy. But it was a first-degree sodomy, so really did the thing. Really did the job. Really got in there. Under the plea agreement, Niemeyer will have to register as a sex offender for the rest of his life. He could spend up to 20 years in jail and must serve 70 years before being parole eligible, according to Keaton County Prosecutor Rob Sanders. Niemeyer and his wife worked as youth pastors at the church, according to Tim Cochran, pastor at New Banklick. I always like when these guys work with their wives, and the wives, literally, he's like, you're working in the same church. He's like, why are you so interested in this girl? I'm like, I'm a youth pastor. I'm used to in the pastoring. Don't worry, darling. What are you worried about? I don't know why he sucks at that. This is a pretty big deal. It's like a kick in the gut, Cochran said at Fox 19 Now in 2016. He was my friend. I'm shocked. Everybody's shocked. I'm shocked, really. Never in a million years would I have guessed something like this. That's what the other person said. These pastor guys are really good at covering up because nobody sees it coming. Sanders said Niemeyer will appear in court again in the Senate hearing, whatever. That's that guy. Moving on. This is from the Associated Press. Colorado pastor arrested for allegedly impregnating a 14-year-old girl. Okay, now, a Colorado pastor was arrested Wednesday after he allegedly impregnated a 14-year-old girl who had his child. It can't really be alleged if she literally had his kid. If a kid came out of this child and it has his DNA, it's his kid. This is not alleged. You can't allege someone's kid or not. I mean, if you have the DNA evidence, it's theirs. It's like there's no mixing this up. Romulo Leach, 22, of Colorado Springs, Colorado, was a pastor for several churches He's got a lot of churches under his belt. They meet at the Colorado Springs Hotel, faces multiple counts of sexual assault on a child. See, they don't say get into sodomy, they say sexual assault on a child. That's it. We don't need to know anymore. The Gazette reported. The unidentified girl said, no, 2214. The unidentified girl said she and the pastor had sex twice, once in November 2016, Leach's car, and at her home earlier this year, the Denver Channel reported. So, at her home, so like right at home, where her parents were, who knows, the 14-year-old girl was by herself, and she's like, come on over, 22-year-old boyfriend, who is a pastor. The party said, hey, my pastor's coming over, and they said, oh, that's great. Oh, Dora's going to be a pastor. She's into the church. That's wonderful. Woo! Woo! We're so happy. If only you knew. And he's like, I'm going to fuck your daughter good. Oh, I mean, tell about the Bible. Jesus. Now the guy for blah, 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 blah. And the teenager gave birth to the child on September the 15th. This is like after 2 fuckings. All right. The teenage girl gave birth to the child on September 15th when she was 15 years old. September 15th? Hey, that's my birthday. The girl reportedly said, this is not mine. Because if someone's birthday is your birthday, that means you're related, and that must be your child she's having. The girl reportedly did not inform anyone she was pregnant until the mother noticed her larger belly in May, arrest records stated. The teenager's mother took her to the Colorado Springs Pregnancy Center, where they notified an employee that Leach was the father, the affidavit stated. Right after the pregnancy center, when the pregnancy center, I'm like, let's check her. And I'm like, oh, Mr. Mr. Pastor is the father. How do they know that it'd be that? Well, she probably said it. I must have just told them. The employee informed the El Paso County Sheriff's Office of the pregnancy, and an investigation was launched. Leach told his ex-wife in a recorded telephone discussion that he had had sexual relations with the teenager and admitted to being the father of her baby, arrest records stated. Leach told his ex-wife he knows he had made this the worst mistake, and it's not like he will go around and sleep with everybody's 13 or 14-year-old daughter, the affidavit said, but not without trying. The affidavit didn't say that, but I will not be sleeping with every 13 or 14-year-old, but not without an effort. I will definitely be taking. And his ex-wife, well, she got out of it wisely. I like how she's recorded it though. What happens is recorded? And in a different recorded phone call, Leach, she must have hated this guy. Like, I'm going to go on your ass, and I'll make sure your ass goes to jail. This is why I'm your ex-wife, goddammit. And a different recorded, you don't go for fist things to your ex. That's probably the rule here. Also, don't fuck 14-year-olds. Although, granted, 22 is, I mean, she's still 14. But this is, there are people I'm reading here like 50s who are like fucking 14s. Like, ugh. 22 is bad. I'm not saying it's okay, but this is not the worst of it. Leach told his ex, well, other than married, he's still going to jail regardless. Leach told his ex-wife, he knows he had made a mistake. I said that in a different recorded phone call. Leach admitted to an unidentified person of having sexual relations with the girl at least 4 times and being the baby's father. So she says they made love 2 times, it's 4 times. That's just like a man. He's don't put in numbers, or maybe he's like, okay, we literally were in the house and we had sex 2 times in the house and 2 times at this other place, and then it's 4 times. He was counting basically. Admitted the baby was wrong and said he was full of lust at the time. Well, that helps to fuck him if you are full of the lust. And the sperm to make the baby. Leach was being held at El Paso County Jail without bond. Deputies were investigating if there were any other victims of leashes. Which, there probably are. I don't know, who knows. He said, I don't go around just fucking every other 14 or 15-year-old, honey. I just, the special ones, the really hot ones. The ones like shapely. All right, this next story is from the local. This is from the local.ch. It's a website. It's Switzerland's news in English. Switzerland's news in English. Iman found guilty of incitement to violence. Hey, we got an Iman. No more pastors. Well, the next one's going to be a pastor. But right now we got an Iman. An Ethiopian who served as Iman at a mosque in Worthor has been found guilty of inciting violence after calling on worshippers to murder non-practicing Muslims. Beautiful. That's so sweet. It's so very sweet. I want to know. Allah is the greatest. Allah. Now kill the non-believers. Or non-practicing Muslims. Not non-believers. Kill the non-practicing Muslims. This Muslim like, I'm gonna have myself some pork chop here. Just kill him. Kill the Muslim. He's eating the pork chop. The 25-year-old was handed a non-custodial sentence of 18 months and banned from Switzerland for 10 years, according to news reports. I've never been to Switzerland, and you can ban me all you want. I wouldn't notice because I've never been there. Although maybe someday I go. I don't know. The Werther District Court found the defendant guilty of 3 counts of public incitement to crime and violence, multiple depiction of violence, and working without a permit. What the hell is multiple depiction? I guess he must describe like not only do I want you to kill, this is how I want you to kill or something. What is a multiple depictions of violence? What if multiple depictions of violence is a crime? Quentin Tarantino must not go to Switzerland. The court found it proven that during Friday prayers on October 21st last year at the An-Noor Mosque, the accused called for the killing and burning of Muslims who refused to take part in communal prayers. Jesus Christ, this guy's serious. You know prayers for you? I'm gonna set your ass on fire. What do you think of that? You're not gonna pray. I'm gonna burn you up. It rejected the man's explanation that he did not speak Arabic well and had just delivered a prepared sermon while understanding what he was preaching. Because that's what you do when you're a preacher. You're like, I don't know what. Well, I don't. And it's actually responding to me. I don't know what I'm saying. I have no clue. I'm just reading this shit. I don't know what's going on. But Switzerland didn't believe it. He was also convicted of having posted violent images of executions on Facebook and distributing those to other people. Oh my! This sounds like a class act. But he didn't fuck anybody. You got to give him credit for that. Unlike the pastors, like the Christian pastors, he just threatens to kill people. Well, one of the pastors did murder someone, so all right, he just threatens. But the one guy actually goes through with it, and the other fucks a kid. So 6 of one, half a dozen of another. Anyway, the asylum seeker who served in Switzerland last year was arrested last November following a raid at the mosque. Because this is what happens when you're like, I want to come to this country. I want to get out of this other country because it's war torn or whatever. Let me go to Switzerland. Hey, thank you for letting me in Switzerland. And now let me do this thing that's going to piss off the Swiss, because that's what you do when you're a guest in another country. You are a refugee, dude. Keep it calm and cool. They're not rooting for the other refugees. They're like, hey, I happen to like being here. If you don't, get the fuck out. Don't wait for me. I don't want to go back. What are you? You're going to make all the refugees look bad. Stop it, motherfucker. I assume some said. He had been in detention ever since during the time his asylum application was rejected. Because he was like, hey, he's trying to kill people. The An-Noor Mosque closed its doors in June. It was alleged to have had connections to terror groups and to have helped radicalize young Muslims. So that guy can fuck off. There we go. That's the end of that, buddy. And now our final story. This is from WHLO TV in Ohio. I don't know how to pronounce this. Xena, it's Xenia. Xena pastor guilty of trying to hire a prostitute, a hooker, a whore. He's trying to get himself a whore, which, by the way, I don't think it's so bad, to be honest with you. Dayton, a Xena, these people are murdering. The other guys calling people the murder. If only this is the worst story religious people did. This is like the worst thing a pastor or a minister or imam did. Like, I want to get my dick wet. For money. I'm going to pay you to get my dick wet. And no one's underage. This is an adult person I want my dick wet. You know what? I'm okay with that. But anyway, they're not okay with it in Ohio. Dayton, Ohio. A Xena pastor arrested in Dayton was found guilty earlier this year for loitering to engage in solicitation, according to court records. Daniel P. Williams, 40, of Hoover Heights. I live in Hoover Heights. Was found guilty in late August of pleading guilty to a misdemeanor count of loitering, according to Dayton Municipal Court. Williams' employer is listed as Arrowbrook Baptist Church in Xena in both court records and police report. The church's website also lists Williams as their pastor. Great stuff. I'm your pastor. Let me read from the Bible. Blah, 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 blah. Now, excuse me. Thank you very much for listening. I'm going to go get myself some get myself some of that puss. For money. Let me go. Collection plate, please. Collection plates. Get the collection plates out. I got to pay for my prostitute. The newsroom has reached out to the church for comment. The call was not been returned yet, but you got to pay for it. Attempts to reach Williams by phone has not been successful. Again, you got to pay for it. Williams was originally charged with a second count of loitering and a third count of soliciting, both of which was withdrawn upon his guilty plea, according to Dayton Municipal Court. The violation happened at noon around August 17 in the 3400 block of East 3rd Street in Dayton. according to Dayton police. So if you want a prostitute, you go to the 3400 block of East 3rd Street in Dayton. But be subtle about it because the fucking cops are around there. Williams was sent. Is that where the hookers are in Dayton? I don't know. I'm just assuming. Williams was sentenced to 60 days in jail with 60 days being suspended. He'll be on probation for 1 year according to court records. Also in Dayton this week, that's another story, which has something to do with the pastor, so I don't care about it. I have to say, even if he's married, that's something between him and his wife. Honestly, I don't think I'm going to defend the pastor. I don't think going to prostitute is the worst thing a person could do. In fact, I don't even think it was a list of things, worst things. Like you had 100 worst things. Going to prostitute wouldn't even be on the list. I don't care. If she's consensual, she's an adult. He's consenting. Everybody's an adult. Everybody knows what's going on. She wants to sell her pussy, and he wants to buy the pussy. I don't care. I don't think he should be going to jail for it. All right, so I'm on the pastor side of that one. Who would have guessed that's how this is going to end? Anyway, I'm Mr. Dixon. Thank you very much for watching this dribble that I put out every week because, hey, that's the way I am. And I'll see you next time.